Yeah, and I was just saying the video cut out, so this is part two. And the sister smiled at me and she said, "How's Nicole going?" And I said, "Good." And I said, "My beautiful wife is so wonderful. She hasn't left me because she's Jehovah's Witness and I'm an atheist, an agnostic atheist. I always put the agnostic in the front, and that I don't know if there's a God, I don't know if there's an afterlife, but I don't think there's a God, and I don't think there's an afterlife, and I live my life like this is the only one I'm going to get, because there's no guarantee there is an afterlife. And I said to this sister, "You stay a Jehovah's Witness because you're happier if you stay. You're happy if you stay, and I don't want Jehovah's Witnesses to leave the Watchtower, and I don't want my wife to leave the Watchtower because it gives her comfort and community. My biggest gripe is the shunning. Just stop the shunning, the two-witness rule, and the blood doctrine, and it'd be okay. It'd be an okay religion. And most religions do start out as cults, and they water it down, and because water down your cult so it's not so poisonous and harmful. Water it down, you know. And I have nothing wrong with religion at all. A lot of atheists love celebrating Christmas. Atheists love celebrating Christmas. And atheists don't believe in Santa Claus, but a lot of atheists say that the presents are from Santa Claus. I mean, I'm okay with Christianity because Christianity gives people a hope that they will see their dead loved one again and a hope of an afterlife. And I have a hope too that maybe there is something. I don't know. I do not know. And a big shout out to Derek Lambic on Myth Vision. I was just watching one of his latest videos, Myth Vision. His YouTube channel is called Myth Vision. Derek Lambert, big shout out. It was on the Gospel of Mary. Now, the Gospel of Mary was discovered in 1896 in German, and the Gospel is actually Gospel of Mary, and the Gospel saying that it dates to around the about 500 CE, and it was saying that Mary was one of Jesus' most favourite disciples, and Mary Magdalene was Jesus' best friend and a favourite disciple of Jesus. And if the Gospel of Mary got into the Bible canon, women would be able to have positions of authority in the church, which would be wonderful. And it's sad that the Catholic Church didn't want that book in because they didn't want to give women authority in the church, which is really, really sad, because when you think of it, women are equal to men. They're equal in intelligence, equal in capability, and they should have roles of authority in the church. And the Gospel of Mary is basically saying that Jesus' favourite disciple and most devout disciple was Mary, and also that in the Gospel of Mary, Peter had a lot of disputes with Mary. Yeah, and also that Mary was saying that the cross of sacrifice wasn't the way to get salvation, but knowledge of Jesus. Knowledge of Jesus was the key to salvation, not the cross, not the sacrifice, not the blood sacrifice of Jesus led to salvation, but knowledge of Jesus, that gospel. But go over to Derek Lambert and his channel Myth Vision. And a big shout out to Colin Zafke. If you are a Christian, ex-Jehovah's and a Christian, go over to Colin Zafke's channel, the CO Visit. And also, if you are a ex-Jehovah's Witness and a Christian, go over to Bethany Ledger. Her channel, she's a Christian, ex-Jehovah's Witness. Her channel's called Stop the Shunning, and her husband, Jonathan Ledger, has a YouTube channel called XJW Analyzer, and he's a Christian, but he's an ex-Jehovah's Witness, you know. And I have no problem, like, I'm an atheist. I am an atheist. I don't believe in God or in the afterlife. I believe this is the only one. I believe we're just animals. We've got the same anatomy as an animal. We poop, we wee, we smell, we get wrinkles, we age and decay. I only get one set of adult teeth. I only get one set of adult teeth, so I probably only get one life. If I had more than one life, I'll get more than just one set of adult teeth. Adult teeth, once you lose your adult teeth, they don't grow back. Limbs don't grow back when you lose your limb. No faith healer is going to grow your limb back. And so when you lose your adult teeth, you lose your thing. But thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for that email. They were concerned about me because in a few of my videos, my big sister Lisa took her life in the year 1994 at the age of 36. She wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. She was an atheist. And my father, in 1969, when I was 8, he took his life, and he was a doctor, and he was an agnostic atheist, you know. Like my sister was an agnostic atheist. But we all get depressed, we all get down in life, but there's always someone. You may have someone who loves you. I have a beautiful wife. She's my number one person in my life. And if you ever do feel down and depressed, just think about, if you took your life, how do you think that would make your loved one or feel? And I still grieve over the loss of my sister. This December, my sister would have been dead for 31 years. And she was only 36 in 1994 when she took her life. And if she didn't take her life, she'd still be alive today. And she would be 66 years old. She'd be 66 years old. And she's missed out on all this life. And isn't YouTube wonderful? The first YouTube video came out in April of 2005. I didn't discover YouTube until October 2013 when I was 52. And when I've got my first smartphone, I discovered YouTube but the very first YouTube was in a zoo, and it was in April of 2005. So we've had YouTube for 20 years now, but I discovered YouTube in 2013. And I discovered about apostate videos, people who have left Jehovah's Witnesses and why they left, and that's why I went down that rabbit hole. And it took me 4 years of watching apostate videos. First apostate video I ever watched was JW Critical Thinker, CJ and Lady C, and that was entitled Fog, F-O-G, how cults use fear, obligation and guilt. That's what cults use. And that was the first video, and I saw Lloyd Evans, and I saw Christian and Katya Gutierrez, Canadian couple, young couple, and their YouTube channel was called Second Chance, but they've got a YouTube channel, Christian and Katya Gutierrez, and they're Christian. They're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, but they're Christian now. And you've got Rian Cultastic, and some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses become atheists like me, and some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses become Christian, and that's okay. It's okay, as long as you're not in a cult that demands you shun your family if they ever leave. That's wrong. It's not right. And denies you blood transfusions. that's not right, that's wrong, and has a two-witness rule. They don't report child abuse, they cover it up. They don't report it to the police if there's only one witness. Yeah? They cover it up. And that's not right, you know, and that's why I make these videos. And there's so many other YouTubers like Bart Ehrman, he's a Bible scholar. He went to theology school to learn about the Bible, become a priest, and he became an agnostic atheist the more he studied the Bible. Richard Carrier also wanted to be a priest, and he studied the Bible and actually became an agnostic atheist the more he studied the Bible. And some don't, and I have no trouble, still friends, because I think religion is like a drug. Yes, religion is like a drug. I don't take drugs, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't take marijuana, I don't take alcohol, I am a sober atheist. And music is my drug. I love music. I love 60s and 70s music. 60s and 70s music is my favourite music from the 60s and 70s. They're my two favourite decades, and love 60s. And a couple of things from the 80s and 90s, but not a lot. Not a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s, because in the 90s I was in my 30s, and the 80s I was in my 20s, but I just reckon 60s and 70s music, that's my drug. You know, that's how I unwind, is music. Music, you know. And if religion helps you to cope, and it gives you community, because I think hope is a wonderful thing. And I hope I meet my dead dad one day and meet my dead sister who took their lives, and I'll say to them, you don't know how much hurt and harm you caused me by taking your life, because if you ever do take your life, you really do harm the people left behind, you know. And that's why I, you know, like, don't ever, because life is precious and it may be the only one you get. And when you're dead, you could be dead forever. There's no evidence for an afterlife. Nobody says you're going to see your pet cat again. Most people realise that when the cat's dead, you'll never see that cat again. That cat only got one life. Why should us human animals, primate animals, get more? But we do have hope. We do have hope. I think we evolved too smart, and we worked out that we were going to die, and it's a curse, because we invent religion to help us cope with the reality of death, because it is shocking when you think of it. It is really scary, so we do need, it's why we had evolved religion. It's a coping mechanism. But it is interesting, if you want to know the truth, it hurts. It hurts. The truth hurts. And if you go down, and for me, truth is the main thing. I'll go wherever the truth leads me, and if the truth leads me to atheism, that's where I'll go, you know. But thank you, YouTube. Big shout out. Big thank you. This part 2. And this is interesting. The 4 Gospels. The 4 Gospels. There was over 60 different Gospels that didn't make it into the Bible canon. Yeah? Over 60 different Gospels that did not make it into the Gospel canon. The 66 books of the Bible that we got, but there was over 60 other Gospels which contradicted. So Christianity was shaped by men in power, and they shaped the Jesus that you have today. If the Gospel of Mary got into the Bible, well, women would have been priests and have the same authority as men. It's a shame the Gospel of Mary didn't get into the Bible canon, because it would have been more equality for women. But these were powerful men in the church who controlled what Gospels got into the Bible canon, the 66 books, and over 60 other Gospels, they rejected it. You know, so Christianity was shaped by men in power, and they shaped the type of Jesus that they wanted, you know, and all for control and comfort, you know, because people fell for it, because who doesn't want to see their dead mother again? My mother died in 1962 when I was 1. She was only 30, and my dad was so grieved by that. My dad was so grieved. And you can understand why my dad took his life, you know. Life's hard. Life's hard. But if it is the only one we've got, and if we don't get another one after this, suicide becomes more of a tragedy. Murder becomes more of a crime, you know. And as an atheist, my morals are better, you know, because I think, no, I don't want to sin. I don't believe in sin. I believe that we make mistakes and people commit crimes. Yes, but I don't believe we're inherited sinful. We're just puzzle, pattern-seeking primates. We're born pattern-seeking primates. And the reason why there's only 4 Gospels, because Irenaeus liked the number 4. Irenaeus, this guy called Irenaeus, he got to pick the 4 Gospels. 4, just 4 Gospels, reject the other 60 Gospels, because there was 4 seasons. 4 seasons, 4 directions on the compass, and 4 eyes. See, 4 eyes. Thanks a lot. Thanks, YouTube. Big shout out. Thanks again. Bye then.